Welcome back everyone after lunch. Just a few housekeeping rules to get us started. Please make sure your mobile devices and other devices are set on silent. All sessions today are recorded and available afterwards. And could you please download the Events app if you haven't already? You can do that by using one of the QR codes on screen right now. Welcome to the session on how to build and scale reliable multi-agent systems on AWS. Please join me in welcoming Melanie from AWS and James from BGL to stage.
Thanks, everyone. I feel so happy that we are the first session actually in the afternoon after the break. I'm sure everyone must be regaining your energy, getting excited for the session. Yes? Yeah. Great to see the nods. Okay, my name is Melanie. I'm a generative AI specialist solution architect from AWS. And today I'm so honored to have the opportunity to co-present with our customer, James Law, who is the head of data and AI from BGL. Together, we're going to share some insights and experiences and some tips to help you start building your generative AI agentic workflows for your production system. All right, let's get started. So this is today's agenda. What we're going to go through is that first we'll talk about what is GenAI agent. I'm sure a lot of you have heard a lot of it, but then let's just revisit what we know already. And then I'll talk about Bedrock agents and then the new feature that we launched for multi-agent collaboration. After that, that's the more exciting moment when James comes on the stage and share BGL's journey to build their production multi-agent systems on AWS. And also he will show some demos for you as well. And at the end, we'll summarize some key takeaways and to help you go back and then start building your agentic systems on AWS. So the evolution of generative AI has definitely followed a clear progression with each phase bringing some new excitement and challenges. Like 2 years back when we first heard about LLM, and then people are so excited to see what other use cases you can potentially do in your organization. Try to leverage the power of the large language model to try to provide more efficient solutions and also to improve your productivities of your organization, for your staff. And then there'll be a lot of proof of concepts like POCs being built. And after we proved that LLM is definitely going to help us so much, and then people will starting to move the POCs into production. So that's a tough journey. And then that's where they're looking for more solid infrastructure, the foundations with the cloud providers, and also looking for the different options and getting guidance from us. And then after you have one project moved into production, you have multiple projects moved into production, then people start thinking about how to optimize them. And also, we're thinking about how to better build scalable, reliable, more secure solutions. That's where the agentic workflows or AI agents comes into play, where it can access different data, access different APIs, and also calling different functions on your behalf and making the decisions by itself. So in AWS, we define GenAI agent as an autonomous software systems that leverage large language model to reason, plan, and execute on your behalf or on behalf of some systems, and then to building more efficient workflows or automated workflows. It can do research for you. It can basically summarize, automate your customer onboarding experience, summarize documents, and also doing some automatic bill paying. So there are so many things that these agentic workflows can work for you. But what exactly that's powering the agentic or the GenAI agents? So as we know, agents has reached some critical tipping points because the power of large language model is continuously growing. As the model is growing as bigger, and also it is better at reasoning, and it will be able to understand our instructions or our queries much better and making decisions by itself. And also with that said, we have continuously building more solid data foundations that actually establishing a solid platform where we can integrate those agentic systems more securely and then with scale. We also, as the toolings that we access now becoming more powerful, and it actually helps us streamline the integrations of those agentic systems into our production system and make it easier and less complex when we're actually building those systems and moving them into production. So before we dive into agentic workflow, what does it look like? Let's first review what does a non-agentic workflow look like. I'm sure many of us has used the large language models in the way where you give enough information or a lot of information for the LLM and together with your query and hoping that LLM will be able to generate the right answer in one go, as what we've seen here. Just go through it from the input to generate the output. But then a lot of time, those kind of steps works good when it's some simple tasks or simple problems. When the problem actually gets more complex, this is where the agentic workflow comes play. So instead of directly giving you the right answer, what an agentic workflow normally consists of is that it will do some proper planning. So it will think about what are the steps that I need to perform to actually reach a reasonable outcome. So it will then automatically decide if there are any tools or additional data that I need to access. And once it generates the result, it will be able to review the first level generated result and then refine itself or continue the loop until it actually satisfies the user's requirement and getting the final result out to user. But with that said, when the workflow becomes more complex, we're also starting to get involved, like thinking about building more specialized agents and then to help to get them working together more collaboratively. So that is the multi-agent collaboration. So when to consider to use multi-agent collaboration? So a lot of time we see, okay, you might need more specialized agent to focus on specialized task. It's like we have different roles in your department, so everyone working together seamlessly and then to accomplish one complex task. Another is like you want to experiment, like you want to access different data source and also you want to basically run some tasks more in parallel. So there are different open source tools that can help you. I also want to highlight that recently we have launched an open source agent framework or Python SDK called Stance Agent. If you haven't tried it, do look it up. And also with the MCP, which is more of a hype word nowadays, like customers are starting to building and finding integration of different resources, different tools much easier with the help of the MCP server. And then with the MCP, the like GitHub like stars has now already increased like or reached 30K stars. So with that said, with Amazon Bedrock, we do have our fully managed agent service, which is Amazon Bedrock Agent. What it does is that the Bedrock agents are the foundational building blocks we provide for our customers to create their own agentic application. You can select different LLM, the foundation models as you need. You can also basically like choose the memory retention time, knowledge base, and guardrails. That's all provided within the Bedrock service itself. And also you can build the tools and also the APIs for your agent to access. And what out of that, we're also giving you the traceability. So you have the clear understanding of each step what your agents are doing. So that is very important when you are thinking about GenAI Ops. So now we have launched the multi-agent collaboration solution as well. So with that said, so what generally does the agent do? So when you're actually sending a request to your agent, so what the agent will does is that it will process the query and then thinking about what are the steps you need to perform, whether you need to access the knowledge base, whether you need to call certain APIs, and then we'll go through that process and also access your data like securely. So this is another view of how to see the agent that actually performs the steps. As we mentioned that, it will decide what are the operations it needs to perform. It will generate some results, observe the results, think about whether the result is as expected, and then go back to the loop. There will be a loop and an iterative process for the agent to basically finally generating the final result. But then here we're actually looking at the agent to build only one single agent solution. And that actually becomes some challenge or limitations when you're actually wanting to perform more complex tasks. For example, your prompts can grow very big, and that can cause more hallucination. And also with the functions that you want to access, that is adding more and more function. James later will give more explanation about the challenges that they face when they're building their production system. And also this all resulted into potential challenges that when you're only building one single agent to handle the whole complex task. So that actually brings us into the multi-agent. Why multi-agent becomes a thing or becomes so popular now with the more new design flow? is that instead of having one agent that handles all your HR queries, you can have more specialized agent that can access a certain type of data source, and also you can have all the different agents working together collaboratively. So from the scaling perspective, you can scale any individual agents easily, and also it makes each agent lighter, and then you can choose different models for different agents that can bring your cost down as well. And most importantly, you can tune each agent to increase the performance of the accuracy of the of your multi-agent system. So as a nutshell, as we review, Bedrock agent Bedrock agent multi-agent collaboration do bring all the native Bedrock benefits for you if you want to build like a solution that for your production and with a fully managed service. With that said, I'm super excited to invite James on the stage to continue the show and then show you and then tell you some of the interesting stories that they had building their multi-agent system.
Thank you, Melanie. Before we start, quickly show your hands if you plan to add agent into your product. Thanks. So many hands. I'm here to tell you our story. Before we start, let me introduce you BGL first. BGL is the leading provider of company compliance, self-managed super fund, investment management solution for accounting and financial services industry. We serve over 12,000 businesses globally. We are based in Melbourne, have office in UK, New Zealand, and Singapore. We have been ranked as the 4th most innovative technology company across Australia and New Zealand, and best place to work by Financial Review. Back to 2016, we started our AI research. 2018, we deployed our first deep learning model into production, classifying hundreds of millions of transactions, and that saves a huge amount of time. 2021, we launched SmartDocs AI Studio, powered by Amazon SageMaker and TextRact. It allows our team to train and deploy AI models that can extract virtually anything from any kind of document. And since that, we have made it as our 5th commercial product used by other software companies. By 2023, we added the AI assistant feature with a ready-to-use chatbot UI, MCP support, and it helped us to build the intelligent agent. If you'd like to use it, feel free to ask us, to contact us. Today, I'm more focused on our self-managed super fund product. 95% of you here should have your fund, super fund. At least 10% of you should have a self-managed super fund, that's including me and Melanie. If that's the case, your accountant most likely using our product. As builders, we all chase scale. Here is what we have. 300,000 funds representing 500 billion Australian dollars in assets. And those money are not sitting still in the account. Every dollar is in motion, being invested, getting return, buying houses, paying the pensions. All those have to be captured, processed, reconciled, and finalized for a deadline, for a regulatory deadline. That's the ATO lodgement. And our product, SuperFund 360, handles that scale reliably every year. And we are proud of that. So in the last 10 years, we put release out every 3 weeks. So over time, it grew to a powerful platform with 60+ screens and a full feature set. We're managing billions of transactions. That goes back to decades. And you will see what will happen. See, the complexity, the power comes with the complexity. So in one side, get the job done means jump between different screens. But in the other side, even we have a complete set of features, we still receive lots of new feature requirements. Many are niche, like only tailored to their own accounting firm. And in that case, we have to say no. Not because we don't want to help, because if we do so, that will be 600 screens. Sometimes they want us to build a new screen. And from our point of view, that's just a different view for the same data set. So we start to ask ourselves, is that possible? The system can proactively tell end user, you are able to group by A, B, and C, so you got X and Y insights. And based on your situation, you can perform A, B, and C. Would you like NAS to do that for you? Or is it possible to have only one single UI handle all the niche requirements? And that's what we started to build. So this is our chatbot UI. You get in, we list the supervised agent and then task-specific agent as well. When you choose an agent, we show the description, say what is this agent can do, what's the limitation. And we even show the quick action buttons underneath so people can get started quickly. Once the conversation starts, the agent starting to explain what am I received, what am I going to do to help you. And we even write code. In this case, we generate a pie chart. And all the data that get involved into this conversation, we're going to put to the UI so user can download, double check, do whatever they want. And we even predict what they will do next. Amazing, isn't that? We not only build one agent, we build many. So let's get started. We start with simple, just a single agent powered by Amazon Bedrock, and give you 3 essential tools. First one, the web search tool. Unfortunately, all the model we use, there's a knowledge cutoff date, and our client not used with that. Plus, our client want to check the knowledge from their own trusted source, which is the ATO website. That's why a web search tool handles both well. And the code interpreter. The GenAI is very good on understanding our intention, but when it comes to the code, comes to the math to generate files, charts, you need real code. So this is a must-have tool. Lastly, we built a RESTful API wrapper. It is a lightweight wrapper. It's just a call the underneath product, grab the response, put it into the large language model, and then that's all. This simplicity is the key for us to scale up. We add 100 functions just in few sprints, and you can do the same thing. So you have released your first agent, what you got now. First, you give your user a real powerful GenAI experience right inside your product. Second, your user is not limited by your screens buttons anymore. We know we have been built that for years, but now a senior user usually jump between screens. Now they can simply say, check all the transactions that missing source document. Write me an email to guide my client how to prepare that. And that's all. The agent is the one who jump between screens and assemble everything for you. And most importantly, as a builder, we unlocked a new mindset. Before agent, if there's a new requirements, means a new screen, a new button. And now we're starting to think, could we quickly modify the instruction and deploy to client? That's all. And all powered by only one UI. And for each agent, we clearly say, you have to show your thinking, your logical behind the reasoning, not just the final answer. And all the files getting involved into, we're going to show the UI. So user can check it by themselves. Agents sometimes make a mistake. They do make mistakes. And in that case, our client won't be stuck because they have their file in their hand and they can continue. This is simple, but it is give the client the clarity, the confidence, and trust. And I can't wait to share you this wow moment we have. Happening during a live demo, we uploaded a sketch, a handwritten sketch just like this. no prompt, no instruction, there's no structured data, no form to fill. And the Claude, that is the AI model we used underneath, instantly understand what is it and how could it can help. So watching a large language model handle a file like that is like seeing the future arrive early. That's the intelligence we're after. And we're not reduce the clicks, reduce the screen switching anymore. We are defining a whole new way how people interact with our software. This is what it have looked like if there's no agent. We would have to build a new screen, lots of edit boxes, design front end, back end, that take months to do. And the user have to fill their information one by one. So I'd like to ask yourself now, is the screen that you're building now necessary? And imagine a day that the user, your user, don't need to fill your forms anymore. Now let's bring back to a reality. As we scale up more and more, and we see challenge come up, the prompt grows up to 30 pages, just to explain what tool to call and when. As the prompt grow up, so did the cost and the latency. And even worse, the agent needed to juggle with 100 different functions. And sometimes it called the wrong one, sometimes gave the wrong argument. And the single agent is supposed to do everything, because we only have one agent. Whenever we make a call to the product, we have to put the whole thing, the whole response into the large language model, just in case user wanted to use it. We can't optimize at all. So in that case, we know we need something smaller, something easier to manage. And welcome to the multi-agent world. This is the version that you see in the video. We offer the user choice. They can choose supervised agent or task-specific agent. And we say they choose task-specific agent more. The reason is that they come in with a task in their head. They just simply pick up one for their task. And we embed the task-specific agent into the screens as well. When the people work on that screen, the agent defined for the same feature of that screen is right there, ready to help. Let's look into what's inside each agent. So of course, you need a model, you need clear instructions. That's the same setup as a single agent and multi-agent. This is what the task-specific agent shine. We can add the guidance, action buttons. I'm going to cover that in the next slide. And finally, the tools. It is not an API wrapper anymore. It is a tool that is specifically designed for this specific task. The data returned, the context window is precisely controlled. And this enables us to run a long-running agent. Like imagine in the future, your agent can run for 1 hour. And let's go back say how the UI user experience wins from this task-specific agent point of view. We found that the user don't want to write wrong prompts. They don't want to guess what's possible in your agent. What we really need is a guided experience. Better just simply click and continue. And with the task-specific agent, it is possible now. With a narrow scope, we're able to list the questions that people can start up quickly. We can even predict what they are going to do next. This is not something easy to do in a single agent setup. And that prediction is a perfect educational tool for end user. The more they use, the more they discover. And not the user experience wins, it paves the way to the future of autonomous agent. So there's a concept called task completion time horizon. It is telling us how long a task that agent can handle with 50% of success rate. And the research shows Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is in Amazon Bedrock, reached a remarkable threshold. It is able to complete half of the task with, that took human 50 minutes to do. And this number is doubling every 7 months. And let's go back to say what BGL is building now. We have many compliance work that took human 2 to 3 hours of concentrated effort. And we are building long-running autonomous agent that is able to handle the entire process end to end. And we're aiming to reduce it to 30 minutes. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Which one would you rather? And So to make it achievable, and you only need to do 2 things. First, build the tool so that the agent can help. Of course, this makes sense. The second, give up control. And you may ask, well, what control? So as builders, we control a lot. We design the user interface. We define the workflow. We want to shape user experience. And now we should give control to the large language model. And if you think carefully, we actually give control back to end user. So the instruction that we put into agent is fixed. But the instructions that our client put into the message box is of their choice, suits their needs. So ultimately, that's our end user control the entire process now. And then now you got everything to build the agent system, technically, mentally. And we believe this is the right way for you to track your success. Calculate how many hours of human effort your agent can take off from your client's plate. And that's what we use at BGL. And that is the long-running autonomous agent is what we committed to deliver to our clients. And we hope it inspires the new ideas for what's possible in yours. Thank you for your time. I'll hand over to Melanie.
Thanks, James. A great journey how BGL has built their multi-agent products now running in production, serving their customers. So as a quick summary of today's session, we have talked about what are the GenAI agents, how agents operate, and what services you can actually leverage from AWS Amazon Bedrock. And also one important thing that we highlighted is about the functionality of large language model nowadays is becoming so powerful. So don't look at what it can do now. Think about the future. Think about where the LLM is actually driving us. And also one most important thing, like James today has highlighted, is building a customer-centric product. You can see many of the new features and a great wow moment is actually thinking about from what your customers pinpoint, how to make your customer or how to make your user more productive. So what would benefit them most, right? Like predicting what's their next action, giving them the option, make the journey for them onboarding your platform easier and more user-friendly. So with that said, I would like to summarize today's session. If you are looking for some hands-on experience to try out Amazon Bedrock Agent, here is the QR code that you can access our workshop and some GitHub code for you to test it out. And also, me and James will be around. If you have any question, feel free to speak to us. Thanks again, everyone, for your time today. I'm sure you enjoy today's summit and tomorrow as well. Thank you.